right now.
І будемо дивитися скоро UBISOFT Showcase, UBISOFT Forward.
Hello, everybody. This is IGN's Summer of Gaming, and we are counting down to today's big event, Ubisoft Forward. I'm Max, that's Akeem, Stella, and Brian. Before we get started, just a friendly reminder that Summer of Gaming is going on all month long. Be sure to join us tomorrow for Xbox's extended showcase. One wasn't enough, apparently, as well as plenty of new gameplay before and after that. We want to know what you think of this all, so tweet at us during the show using the hashtag IGN Summer of Gaming, and afterwards we'll be using the Lenovo Legion Slim 7i, powered by a 13th gen Intel Core i9 processor, to see what you had to say. Right now, it is time to go over what we are expecting to see from Ubisoft today.
Star Wars!
Star Wars, yeah.
Star Wars for sure.
Yeah, I want to talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm so incredibly excited for this game. That trailer yesterday, just cinematic so far, but did everything to setting the stage for what this world's going to be like. Scrappy, we've got outlaws, we've got scoundrels, we've got the whole criminal underbelly of the Star Wars universe. Not a lightsaber in sight.
Thank God.
And you know what? They've had their time. They've had their
horribly
time.
unsafe.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is looking like it's kind of the sweet spot. We've gotten a lot of Star Wars that's exploring kind of new parts of the timeline. This is original trilogy territory.
Yeah, this is right between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. You can tell because Jabba's getting his carbonite delivery.
What if that's some other guy? What if that's not Han? It's just some other random dude.
It looks a lot like... No, it's him. We know
Nick
it's
Nolte's there or something.
But yeah, Max, you and I were kind of geeking out because we haven't really had a video game exploring this time period since Shadows of the Empire. Which was not canon or deemed not canon in the Great Disney Purge.
No, that's.
Are you two bored yet?
No, look, I'm looking.
We could
look,
do
what are you talking about? I'm looking forward to this. Are you kidding me right now? Like this is like one of the first open world Star Wars video games.
You're typically not a Star Wars guy. Is this doing anything for you? Like, is this moving the needle?
It's doing a lot for me. Like coming from Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order. This is a different vibe, and I'm kind of digging just like the look. The look of it, it looks vastly different.
Yeah.
Also, I love open world games. I'm kind of curious what an open world Star Wars game is gonna play like.
Yeah.
Space axolotl who can run.
I know.
It's your little pet. I love him so much. I don't know.
Its name is Nyx. N-I-X.
I love
It's very
it.
cute. It looks like it's going to get into all sorts of mischief. I really like the swoop bike in this game.
Dude,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Swoops first appeared in Shadows of the Empire. They did. They were in that.
Swoop, there it is.
Yep, pretty much. I love it. No, that's like if a speeder bike is a motorcycle, a swoop is a chopper. It's just an engine with a seat on it, pretty much. But so I actually was scrubbing through this. The blasters they have are ones that showed up in Battlefront already.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I want to know what the gameplay is like here. I feel like if we have an idea of what Ubisoft games are like, Like I feel like it could go a number of directions, but like, yeah, I'm so happy about this. Like I loved Survivor so much, and this looks like it's just different enough, but the same in the right ways.
Yep.
Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I honestly, I feel like a kid again because when we were growing up, we got pretty good Star Wars games on a pretty regular basis, and like.
Yeah, y'all Star Wars fans are eating good.
Yeah.
This year and next year for sure.
The exclusivity deal with EA is free from the carbonite, and now other studios can hop in. Like, obviously they made Jedi Survivor, which was great, but this is massive. This is a studio that's never done this before, and I'm really interested to see that.
Yeah, I'm wary. Like the thing is, Massive has only just done like Division games that we know. Like that's pretty much what they've seen. And I'm really hoping that there's not, with all due respect to the Division, I'm hoping that there's not too much like games as a service stuff in this. I'm really hoping we're getting more single player experiences because that's just, I don't know, that's well suited for Star Wars as like a narrative thing. It's just, we want to do full-on escapism and fantasy. And
seeing this teaser yesterday, we were terrified for a moment that this was just a card battler, and then she throws the cards down and runs out, and I was like, oh, thank
really?
Oh my god, that would have been the worst reveal ever.
Look, this is, we got a, Final Fantasy 16 thing that led to a DoorDash Taco Bell commercial? We've been hoodwinked before.
Yes, that's true.
We've been swooped.
We've been swooped.
You know what?
Again.
Having just played KOTOR, I'm so excited for swoop racing.
Yes.
Which, by the way, that was kind of tough sometimes, getting it all, shaving down just a few seconds, so I'm really excited. And, I've wanted more like that. I know, obviously, the KOTOR remake, it's stuck in oblivion, but so this might be that taste that we want, which I know that one had a grand tale of you being the main character of the world, and I'm really happy that this kind of focuses on someone who's just on the outskirts of that, and it's really refreshing because I'm give us a story of someone who came from nothing so that and they're not like tied to anyone special, and explore that.
Yeah, and you know, and they're not a Jedi.
Yeah, I'm hoping we don't see any lightsabers.
Me neither. We got a Rancor. That makes me so happy. That's my favorite beast in Star Wars.
At this point in the timeline, like somebody pulling out a lightsaber in a bar, everyone's like, what is that? Like it is a relic from another era. You don't see them on a regular basis. It's a weird oddity, but like, you know, I know there's like.
Why was she looking out of a VCR? What was that?
Let me tell you about Star Wars. Looking through VCRs, you know, running around with ice cream makers, talking into a Gillette ladies razor. These are things that people do in this galaxy.
Future, yeah.
One scene in the movies where like they use colored Q-tips as like the audience.
Yes. Yeah, the pod race scene has that. It's just a bunch of little like anyway, another thing we know we're seeing is Assassin's Creed Mirage. We got a teaser for that during was it Xbox's thing? No. Summer Game Fest. Yeah. So yeah, I think a lot of people are kind of cautiously optimistic about this. Assassin's Creed games have been, you know, they've been pretty consistent for the most part, but they took a pretty hard shift with Origins, and they went from being, you know, open world action adventure stealthy type games to being basically just action RPGs, which they were good, but they're also not what people conventionally like about this series. So this is supposedly kind of a return to form. This is going back to basics, like Assassin's Creed 1, similar setting, similar time period, and I think, how are you all feeling about this?
I feel good about this. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a same kind of career arc that Zelda's had, right? Where it was, we got so many of them, we liked them, it hit a point where it felt a little repetitive, they rebooted it as like a full open world thing, but now they're doing the thing that Zelda hasn't done yet, because Tears of the Kingdom was so good, where they're pulling back and going back to the roots, back to the basics a little bit. And I dig that, because I think I like the more kind of intimate Assassin's Creed stuff that's more focused on stealth, more focused on parkour and hiding and stuff like that, and less about like, I need to get in a boat and travel across a whole world and do side quests and stuff like that.
And the great thing about this is, let's say you're an old school fan, so you're going to be treated quite nicely with Mirage, but maybe you kind of like, you know, the evolution of the entire franchise with Valhalla. We're still getting Codename Red, that Shinobi-themed Assassin's Creed, and we're also getting Hexy.
Yeah, that's the witchcraft
almost
one.
Like, exactly.
Which is like horror themed. I'm super into that.
Yeah, same. So they're still giving us new things as well, and treating the hardcore old school fans to something that they're used to.
That's only a few of them. They've basically announced like what, 4 or 5?
Plus a hub?
Yeah.
A box to keep them all in.
What, Assassin's Creed Infinity is the big multiplayer thing that I don't think we know much about, but there's also Hexy, there's Hexy and Nexy, there's Nexus VR.
Hexy, Nexy?
That's not what it's called, but no, I mean, I feel like Ubisoft typically like is really quick to be kind of like an early adopter of whatever platform it is, and I was kind of shocked that they didn't come out swinging with anything on PSVR 2. They've had some stuff on the Meta Quest. I don't know how Assassin's Creed in VR works. That sounds like a really good way to puke everywhere.
Well, I was gonna say, like, Hitman works in VR, so I mean,
that dude walks slow. He doesn't climb stuff.
I mean, fair enough, but I mean, I would love an Assassin's Creed PSVR 2 game. That's how Ubisoft could really wow me today if they show us some sort of some PSVR 2 action with Assassin's Creed. I doubt that's going to happen.
Would you do the thing in VR where you jump off the roof and land in a pile of hay? I would not. I would be too. I'm a big baby. I'd be too scared.
I mean, that would actually fall flat on the floor.
That's what I'm expecting. That's the kind of thing I feel like Ubisoft usually is like, we'll take like one. Like they made a VR game about being a firefighter in Notre Dame burning down. That's a game. They also made Eagle Flight where you're just a bird in a lot of stuff in Paris. They really like to do that.
I really liked Eagle Flight.
Eagle Flight was cool, but it was also it felt like almost just like a fairly simple mechanic kind of spun out into a whole game, which a lot of VR games have that to them, and like I'm curious if an Assassin's Creed VR experience is more than just the experience, it's like a full-fledged game,
right?
Which be cool to see that. But
Max, do you want to talk about the big cats?
Thank you for
asking. I think you do. I think
you
want to talk about those big cats.
Want to talk about Avatar?
That's right.
Avatar, the movie.
I know.
Somebody at the PC community is going to get weird with that probably.
That would be weird in VR.
That's weird. Or we don't even talk about
reality. Are you kidding me? Did you see the movie? Let's not get into that.
That was the last movie I saw in theaters, and then the pandemic happened, and I think I was being punished.
And now the Pandora's happening.
The Pandora's happening. That's right.
You got there before. I was about to go there too.
Well, I already went there. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, no,
I love you all dearly. So this is interesting because again, like this is Massive's developing this. I'm hoping this isn't a Division-y type thing. People are like, is it going to be like Avatar Far Cry? And that sounds like a nice thing. That's kind of like, I don't know. chocolate, maybe not chocolate, like peanut butter pretzels. You know, it's like, you know, maybe it's not for everybody, but like, you know,
paw cry, fur cry,
tar cry. I don't know. Yeah, it's, I'm into it though. Like this is, it seems like perfectly suited for it. Like it's a, you know, it's a big sprawling world. You've got all these critters running around. You can go with your pink ponytail and shove it into the horse and ride the horse and do whatever.
Can't say that here.
You can go up on that guy, go hello there, and I see you, and then put the ponytail in or wherever, and you know.
It does look gorgeous. I'm not like a super fan of Avatar. I enjoy it. I enjoy. No, there are some.
I started doing it ironically because like caught on.
No, but remember there was actually like a psychological phenomena where people were like getting depressed because Pandora wasn't real.
Yeah,
and
I think they were depressed to begin with, but
well, yes. This might help, maybe, because if they do actually capture the magic that Pandora has, this might like be that entry to be like, oh, you know what? It may not be real in person, but like, we can explore it digitally.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's also like, I don't know, this is totally right for video game stuff, right? You've got helicopters, you've got mechs, machine guns, bows and arrows, rideable pterodactyl lizard frog things. Big lush worlds to explore, dinosaur creatures. Like there's just so much stuff here that's like screams video game.
I mean, Ubisoft made an Avatar game back in like 2012, which is an ancient thing at this point.
Yes.
Like, it's a long time ago. Not 2009, whatever, but it's an old game. But Avatar hasn't been completely strip mined for video game, just unobtainium. But you know, it's like there's a lot to play with here, and it's kind of cool. We're at this point where I think we're sort of at a golden age of licensed games. I think video games are finally like big enough as an industry and as medium that, you know, IP license right holders, whatever, are like, let's not just make shovelware.
Yeah.
Like let's make a good game. And I think, you know, we've seen Ubisoft, you know, sometimes to a fault, has had like almost formulaic game design. You know, there's very much like you run around an open world, you knock out outposts, you climb a big thing, unlock portions of the map, rinse, repeat. Maybe you got a little stale, but like applying a beloved property to it could make that interesting. So
I think we were just talking about this like casually too. We're just like, man, do you remember when movies always had a video game that accompanied it?
That's when they cost $17 to make. Yeah, no, there's so many old bad, you know, licensed games, but there's also a lot of like kind of, you know, fun ones. But you know, I feel like the real turning point was you know, the Arkham games. Like that was one of the earliest instances where it was like, this is a AAA game based on a beloved property that isn't a movie tie-in, but you know, it has its own. You know, now we're getting that with Spider-Man. I mean, Star Wars is the rare exception because you know LucasArts was always kind of working in tandem with Lucasfilm. That said, there have been plenty of bad Star Wars games. Avatar is kind of a new thing. Like the first Avatar game, definitely olden days type of license game, but I'm hoping this is, you know, another story. And yeah, I mean, yeah, again, like this is a universe we've been to basically twice. You know, it hasn't been, you know, beaten to death, and you know, there's a bunch of stuff in this world that we like. Star Wars. How many times have we seen the Battle of Hoth? You know, it's been kind of done to death in a lot of areas. But, you know, Avatar, less so.
Yeah.
Now, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown was a nice surprise reveal.
Man, Sargon in that bad boy. I don't really know who he is. That's the name of the main character.
This feels like a pretty, like, I don't know the Prince of Persia universe too well, but this feels like it's kind of, it might as well just be its own thing, you know? Like, it seems like a pretty, you know.
Well, 100%, yeah, I believe he's so Sargon, he's on a journey to save the Prince of Persia.
Remake Prince Persia.
I believe this is like, yeah, he's going to save the Prince of Persia. You know, it's kind of like, you know, what they do in the Legend of Zelda games.
You said the title.
I did. And I believe this is a bit of a side scroller, kind of like, you know, taking it back to its roots.
Yeah, it's got a little Metroidvania Dead Cells going for it too, which I'm totally into. I think the hip hop music in the trailer was kind of a tonal mismatch, and some people weren't wild about it. This also, like, we have a Prince of Persia remake that's kind of in development limbo right now, so I think people wanted to see that. But for me, old school side scroller fan, like, this is extremely my ish. You know, I'm all about this.
Yeah, I've never played Prince of Persia. I actually have it downloaded on my Ubisoft Connect app, but I've not played it. But it looks interesting, but side-scrolling is not a genre that I'm really into most of the time. So I don't know. I'll watch you play it.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, I just love all the attacks here, how quick they are.
Yes.
Like, this is, a lot of side-scrollers are just about platforming, and we clearly see that, but there's also, like, this is a hack and slash, you know? Like, you can flip people over.
Like, the original Prince of Persia games were basically just, I guess, platformers? Like, kind of puzzle platformers?
Very cumbersome platforms.
I love those growing up, and going back to them is rough. I think they did, like, a kind of HD remake of the original on Xbox Live Arcade, I think.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's fine, you know, it's kind of whatever. But this looks like a full-fledged kind of reinvention of it. And I gotta check it out. It kind of reminds me what they're doing with this of like more recent. Oh, looks like it's about to start. All right, well, shut up. Check it out. Let's see some Raven Rabbits. We're gonna have a post show after.
Yay! Here we go.
See you back here. Check it out.
I want Rayman.
Here we go. А, це Assassin's Creed. Division. Assassin's Creed, а потім перехід на Division. Division. Круто, круто. Це що? Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs.
Welcome to the Ubisoft Forward pre-show. The main show will begin in 15 minutes, but until then, sit back, relax, and enjoy a jam-packed pre-show.
The past year of Rainbow Six Siege has brought some of the most impactful updates in the game's history. We asked top creators from YouTube and Twitch to tell us what they think about Siege today.
Siege is a completely different game than it was like 5, 4, 3 years ago. There's way more operators.
There's so many things that you can test out when there's a new operator, whether it's the interactions with the other operators, or maybe the operator just has a cool gun and it's just fun to play.
Zombie specifically, I guess, in the most recent, impactful defensive, add-on for operators. I fell in love with her. I thought it was cool that you could hide yourself, you could even hide the bomb chassis and convince people that the site that they were supposed to be attacking on wasn't actually there because you had, successfully hidden the bomb.
Most hero shooters dream of having their entire roster essentially be viable operators, and I think Siege has really nailed that.
When I stream Rainbow Six Siege, and
Я не знаю, що це за хрень происходить. Це не у мене, це у них. Це у них якісь...
Those tactical plays are some of the most satisfying that you ever get in gaming.
Cross progression was awesome. I started on PS4, so I had several years from being one of those veteran year 1 players under my belt, and so I had all the cool skins and even levels, renown, all that kind of stuff. So having that suddenly be on my PC account, which I started, I don't know, probably 3 years into my journey, was fantastic.
The console community has been begging Ubisoft for some kind of answer to the Zim situation. And I know the Mousetrap was a huge announcement that a lot of console players were waiting for.
The most groundbreaking thing added to Siege for me was Ranked 2.0.
I'm really
change attachments, switch seamlessly between.
Newest season has just been released, and a whole lot more is on the way. So there's a lot of Siege to be excited for.
Rainbow Six
Why not go watch a game in action and see for yourself?
Мені так, чисто Deep Purple Rainbow Six, якщо чесно. Більше Ghost Recon цікаво, Division, Far Cry, Splinter Cell, Avatar, Skull and Bones, Assassin's Creed сама топова тема. Є у Юбіків. У Юбіків вони ще випускали Phoenix Rising. Серія Assassin, звичайно.
when you experience the adrenaline to play in tournaments, to win tournaments.
Rainbow Six Cup.
You know that you can't live without that anymore.
For Honor ще
like moving countries to pursue my dream and career was very difficult at the beginning because I had to left some people behind, you know, in Brazil. But you have to be the best, you have to think that you are the best. There's a pressure like of being a team captain because like for example, if I'm not scared to play a match, like my team's not gonna be scared, you know. Like on social media, when people see that, they respect me. Everybody's gonna look up to us like, oh, a new dynasty, you know, like the forbidden word. I feel we have everything that we need to be the best team in the world. We just have to prove to everyone else. My dream is to win like two big tournaments in a row. To win is the most important thing. If we lose this game or win this game, like it's my fault, you know. So it's all on my shoulders.
We work in a discipline that has certain gaps between the people that make buildings and the people that use buildings, and I think we could use games and virtual spaces as a way of breaking down those boundaries and inviting new audiences to participate in architectural design. There's an important relationship between architecture, urbanism and video games. An understanding of how real cities are formed, how people behaved in cities, how people gathered in crowds is often very, very helpful in being able to articulate that meaningfully in a fictional world as well.
Video Game Urbanism is the name of our teaching studio. We've been teaching this for a number of years now, working with students to promote the use of game engine technology as an architectural method for design.
We've been gamers since we were young, and I think that really informed, in some way, our decision to become architects because we've always been really interested by spaces. So Ubisoft approached us to reinterpret one of their games in any way we'd like to.
We were interested in how Unity opens up the city in a new way, rather than just experiencing things from the street, being able to really kind of navigate across the buildings, the rooftops, the facade, interacting with architecture in a different way.
As architects, we're trained to see buildings in a particular way, but a game like Assassin's Creed Unity lets us break that and see the city in a new light.
So when we were researching the game, we found it really interesting to read some of the interviews and some of the material from the developers as to how they approach the design of the architecture, and hearing that, you know, you're facing real virtual problems we also face as architects sometimes was a really interesting insight. We thought it would be really interesting to explore video game architecture using an architectural methodology such as a scaled model.
So we go from the riverside to the old kind of medieval areas of the city where the buildings are much smaller and irregular, through to the larger kind of boulevards.
And we're standing here today in the Bourse de Commerce, which is obviously the highlight of the model here.
We picked the Aloe Blé because we think it was a really good example of a building that's use has changed maybe quite a lot from the game to the present day, even to the fact that it's got a new insertion in it from an architect that we really loved. And it was a really interesting building to look at.
We really like the way that games are totally kind of user-centric spaces, which is definitely something architecture can learn from.
What's up, everyone? We're playing the X-Defiant beta. Thank you to Ubisoft for sponsoring this video.
out that Just Dance 2023 has a story mode now.
All things Far Cry 6 and how I feel after playing the game.
Stay tuned for exclusive reveals on Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and the Crew Motorfest, all in 10 minutes.
It's okay to be scared. I know.
Moron! You suck!
Still learning about mentality. You gotta work on yourself, you gotta be better about it.
Christine got blues. Christine got blues. She ain't got it. Unless it's a blue 8, and then we'd be screwed, son.
Or unless it's a red 7.
Oh shit, she had red?
Come on. Oh my god. Clip das, clip das, clip das, clip das, clip das, clip das.
Do it.
Join the call.
Yeah!
He actually did it.
Oh! Oh! Oh man, I mean, we kind of caught the transition. We did another casual bar spin there.
Top 4 eliminated.
I knew I'd been training for the splits for a reason. Oh my god, I'm so excited. It's coming tomorrow. It's coming tomorrow. I'm amazed. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Oh. Did he crash into me?
Layla, your dance was so amazing, by the way. I want you to know that Ubisoft San Francisco just donated $10,000. I know. I know. Right?
What in the fuck? What is happening?
This thing looks like the wide body of the future. What the heck is this? I don't even know what to say. It's like bottoming out as I drive the thing.
Oh, right, that's a thing, I remember.
think we reached the 50,000 thanks to Assassin's Creed 2.
Really, we did?
Yeah,
Oh my God!
Let's reach the goal and call it even. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow, that's we started at like 13,000 something. So yeah, getting to the 15 is insane. That's really insane. Thanks everyone.
The show's about to begin. Get your snacks, get settled. Ready? Let's go!
Jump on the dance floor, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Jump on the dance floor.
Ult efkosan na vieranel, tokpeja hemitse. The RDA's greed poisoned our world.
Secure the perimeter. All threats must be eliminated.
They took everything from us. From me. I was trained in their ways, their technology, their weapons. Things that a Navi should not know. And then one day, they left.
Hell's Gate is under attack. Evacuate now. Kill all the Navi children.
But before they did, our teacher saved us and put us to sleep.
This is your only chance to survive.
And there I remained for 15 years. Until one day, I awoke. And I was free. Free to explore my world. Free to decide who I was going to be. Free to discover what I was meant to do.
Now you see what they kept you from. Your true home.
Now Pandora is under attack again.
Don't let the Na'vi get in our way. Get rid of them.
And I have a choice to make. I choose to protect my home. I was a child of two worlds. I am no longer. I am Navi. Sivako.
Hi there everyone, I'm Jim Cameron, the creator of Avatar and Avatar: The Way of Water. In developing both of these films, I set out to imagine another world, a world as rich and complex as our own. And we wanted the audience to feel as though they were really on Pandora, to dream with their eyes wide open, and to explore this world with our characters. And it's always been our vision to embrace technology to allow us to find new ways outside the cinema to immerse people in this world. Our friends at UBISOFT share this same ambition, and the team at Massive have been pushing the boundaries of what's possible in games to bring a new corner of Pandora to life. So with Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, our creative team at Lightstorm has been able to share their insights with Massive's talented team, who are experts in creating living, open worlds. Together, we'll be able to bring players to the Western frontier with new environments, new flora and fauna, and new characters, and an original story that coexists with the events of the Avatar films. We can't wait for you to join this adventure, and we look forward to welcoming you back to the world of Avatar once again. We can't wait for you to join this adventure, and we look forward to welcoming you back to the world of Avatar once again.
My name is Dieter Deenfeld, and as the game director, I'm proud to be representing the team behind Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora today, and excited to share a sneak peek of what we've been working on. In this all-new story, you'll set out on a journey of discovery to unravel the mysteries of your past, learn what it means to be Navi, and explore new parts of Pandora on land or together with your trusted Banshee in the air. Our ambition is to create a playground where curiosity is rewarded. This tangible and highly immersive first-person experience will allow you to closely connect to a beautiful open world, touch and interact with it, using your size, your superhuman strength, and your natural agility to gain the upper hand. As the Navi say, Sivako, let's rise to the challenge on December 7th. Until then, we're delighted to show you a glimpse of this adventure. So prepare to lose yourselves in the beauty and the danger of the Western frontier. Thank you.
Welcome to Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, a first-person action-adventure game that invites you to explore the engaging world of Avatar in an immersive open-world experience. I'm Didi Dienfeld, Game Director, and I'm excited to reveal what's waiting for you on Pandora. The story of our game begins when the RDA expands their operations to the Western frontier. John Mercer, one of the leaders of the RDA, abducts you and other Navi children from your home to teach you the ways of humans, hoping to mold you and turn you against your own people. But his plan is interrupted by the Battle of the Hallelujah Mountains, and you are put into emergency cryosleep. When you awaken 15 years later, you are a stranger in your birthplace. Knowing the dangers posed by the RDA, you set out to take them down and look to secure the help of other Navi clans. Initially, you're perceived as an outsider, so you have to reconnect with your lost Navi heritage to gain their trust. On your adventure, you'll find your own path as you discover what it means to be Navi. You'll explore new regions of Pandora, each with their own unique biomes. The Kinglor Forest is a lush rainforest brimming with life and dense vegetation in the shade of awe-inspiring floating mountains. This is the home of the Aranahe, a clan of peaceful weavers who will guide you on your first hunt and on your first flight. The Aranahe will show you the way to the Rookery, where you can bond for life with your very own Ikram. The Ikram is a devoted companion that you can name, feed, and customize. Experiment with acrobatics and feel a rush of adrenaline as you dive from the sky and explore the open world of Pandora from the air. If you travel north, you'll get to the upper plains, an expansive grassland filled with contrasts and open views as far as the eye can see. The nomadic Seswa clan live here in symbiosis with gigantic beasts called Sakru. Earn the clan's trust, and they will teach you the art of riding dire horses. And further west, the mysterious clouded forest, where hidden in the mist, nothing is as it seems. Here lives the Kamatiri, a clan of healers with their own dark reasons to stay hidden. RDA operations are threatening the balance of Pandora. They build facilities of all sizes to exploit resources at any cost, spreading devastating pollution. In the process, animals are hurt and poached. You'll need to stop the RDA from ravaging your home, and when you are ready, you will take the fight to them. As a child of two worlds, you can learn to master multiple combat styles. Your powerful instincts allow you to get an overview of the battlefield, mark your enemies, and identify weak points. Traditional Navi weapons are versatile and precise. You can use the longbow to hit long-range targets, or the staff sling to set up traps. For a more explosive approach, you can leverage your human training and go for the blast of an assault rifle, a shotgun, or go bigger with the occasional rocket launcher. On foot, you can also rely on your incredible strength to take down AMP units. Above the clouds, your Ikran will help you in aerial combat against the RDA. Destroying RDA facilities will have a tangible impact on your world. With the pollution removed, Pandora heals. You will be able to harvest the best quality material again and craft better gear and weapons. You will also find ingredients to cook and make meals to get stronger. As you keep discovering what it truly means to become Navi, you'll improve your skills by connecting to Awa through the Tarshu plant and learn from the memories of your ancestors. Skill upgrades can improve many aspects of your character, such as your natural agility to move through the world, your stealth approach when hunting or fighting, or the handling of your weapons and mounts. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora is a captivating action-adventure game designed to maximize the power of new-gen consoles and PC. You'll be able to play the full story campaign in single-player or with a friend online in two-player co-op. We invite you to explore this world of wonder. Become Navi and take down the RDA to protect Pandora.
Day one is UBISOFT Plus. UBISOFT Plus будет? Она какая-то контракт.
Hello. My name is Mark Rubin, executive producer on X Defiant. What you just saw was a collection of live clips and reactions from players streaming our game during our closed beta test in April. And we've been absolutely overwhelmed by the amazing response to our game from players all over the world. Now, for us, community has really been the core of this game's development. And we've had 28 public tests so far, with the recent closed beta being the largest, and of course, the first with no NDA. And throughout all of these tests, we've done our best to listen and respond to the feedback of players. So thank you so much to the more than 1.5 million players who have participated in those tests, and the countless creators and streamers who shared their footage and feedback about X Defiant. Now we're ready to look towards the future. We are currently planning on launching later this summer. But before we do that, we will be holding another test to address some of the feedback from the closed beta. This open session will be available to everyone on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S from June 21st to June 23rd. This is a short test, but we are opening it to everyone to get as much feedback as possible on our new netcode, our controller tuning, and of course, to stress out the servers as much as possible. So if you have not played X Defiant yet, this is your chance. But let's talk about what's going to happen when we launch later this summer. We will start with a 6-week preseason that will have all of our launch content with 14 maps, 5 factions, 24 weapons, and much, much more. We then move into our Year 1 content schedule, which is packed with some really exciting content, with 4 brand new meta-changing factions, each with unique characters and skills, 12 new weapons, and 12 new maps. That's 1 new map every month, all inspired by Ubisoft's amazing worlds. And I think you may really be surprised at where we go. Year 1 is really going to have a lot of great gameplay content, all focused on creating a fun arcade FPS experience. And we are committed to staying true to our community and to strive to make XDefiant the best place to compete and have fun. Now, it's been quite the journey to get to this point. So thank you again to all of the players that supported XDefiant so far. And for everyone who hasn't yet had the chance, we hope to see you in game soon. Thank you.
Hi everyone, it's so exciting to be with you today. About 30 years ago, in 1989, I discovered a great action-adventure game, both challenging my skills and respecting my cleverness. It was Prince of Persia. I am Muniradi, game director of Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. Time has come to open a new chapter and to journey in legendary Persia, in an era where the laws of mortals were ruled by the laws of gods. You are Sargon, a fearless sword prodigy, the youngest member of a squad of 7 elite warriors, the Immortals. One night, Prince Hassan, sole heir to the throne, is abducted and taken to her hostile and cursed land, Mount Kaf. You and your brothers-in-arms are sent on a rescue mission to save Prince Hassan. However, this assignment will cast you straight into the lion's den. And it is here that you, Sargon, and the whole kingdom must prepare to face the greatest threat of your lives. This is your story. In Mount Kaf, your destiny awaits. When entering Mount Kaf, your mission is clear. Find Prince Hassan and bring him back to Persepolis. However, Mount Kaf becomes a prison full of hostile inhabitants. Now separated from your allies, you discover a grand citadel full of mysteries, where time flows differently.
What is this sorcery?
The past coexists with the future. In this cursed land, exploration is everything. This is a semi-open world that delivers new secrets as you find new powers. But to reach new areas, you have to master your skills and your sense of timing, a trademark of Prince of Persia.
What would you like to buy?
During this epic journey, you won't be the only one trapped in Mount Kaf.
Goddess and blacksmith to the gods.
Some dwellers are willing to help you, while others are more reluctant. But Sargon is a swordsman like no other. He is a fierce warrior, known for being elusive, ruthless, and extremely skillful on the battlefield. Fueled by anger, he constantly puts his life on the line to perform devastating attacks. Time powers are back. But this time,
What the hell was that?
not only in your hands. To face such a challenge, master a new side of his time powers and defy gravity. By combining all these skills together, you can express your creativity to solve Mount Kaf's mysteries and execute brutal combos in epic combats. And that's just a glimpse of what Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is all about. I'd like to thank Matrix, who composed the in-game music you are just listening to. And of course, my fantastic team at UBISOFT Montpellier. We cannot wait for you to get your hands on the game. It releases on January 18, 2024 on all platforms. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the show.
Hi, my name is Adi Shankar. I'm a TV and movie producer. You may know me from the Castlevania animated series on Netflix, or one of my fan fiction shorts on YouTube. 7 years ago, I got a call from Ubisoft offering me the opportunity to adapt one of their very, very, very serious franchises into an anime. But instead, I came back to them with a crazy concept inspired by the mood of Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Yeah. This concept used Ubisoft's vast library of characters and remixed them into one delirious anime series that would become this love letter to the 90s. Or at least how I remember the 90s. And to my absolute surprise, Ubisoft said no. Just kidding. They said yes. That's why I'm up here. Come on. This is the story of how the first anime series by Ubisoft was born. Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix. This show is many things. It's violent. It's a dystopian fiction in the spirit of the works of Aldous Huxley. It's a spoof. It's a satire. It's dark comedy. It's a love story. And as a descendant of Indian mystics, I can tell you it's the most philosophically conscious show you've watched in a long time. The series was picked up by Netflix. It was animated by the renegade genius pirates at Bobby Pill's studio. And today, I'm very happy to announce that barring an apocalypse, which may happen, it will be released worldwide later this year. And that's not all. I'm even more excited to share with you an action-packed, Easter egg-filled teaser trailer right now.
You want to be entertained? Don't change the channel. Join the revolution.
Hey everyone, it's an honor for us to be here with you today. We're home free, and this is our song Skull and Bones.
The seas forever roar, yo-ho, yo-ho, till I'm not but skull and bones, yo-ho, yo-ho.
Outcast a kingpin was born upon the sea. There was meant to walk the land, a pirate's life for me. Avast you winding up the sails, don't speak to mutiny. Find yourself a wanton quarter, bottom of the sea. Among the shores of St. Anne to the eastern shores, I'll take my chances on the wind to loot and plunder scores. Flag, it stands for us alone and no one else around. We owe our honor to the sea and not to any crown.
Yo-ho, yo-ho, the seas forever roll. Yo-ho, yo-ho, the winds forever blow. Long after I'm a Davy Jones, till I'm not but skull and bones. Yo-ho.
Hearties, bring her out.
Heave-ho, me hearties, bring her out.
A pirate's life for me I found.
A pirate's life for me I found. Yo-ho, yo-ho, the seas forever roll. Yo-ho, yo-ho, the winds forever roll. Long after I'm a Davy Jones, till I'm not but skull and bones. Yo-ho, 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 the seas forever roll. Yo-ho, yo-ho, the winds forever roll. Long after I'm a Davy Jones, till I'm not but skull and bones. Yo-ho.
I've never been a quitter. You only get what you give. I'ma run it up to the day that I did. And when I zoom past, eyes on me, I'll be going too fast. You only get what you give. I'ma run it up to the day that I did. Not slowing down. Pedal to the metal. 4 wheels, 2 seats, 1 big pedal. Vroom, vroom. 4 wheels, 2 seats, better be ready. Turn it up, only one winner. No time for new beginners. You only get what you give. I'ma run it up to the day that I did. When I drift, welcome to the summer, we don't stop, we just live. And when I zoom past, eyes on me, I'll be going too fast. You only get what you give. I'ma run it up to the day that I did.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. 5 years ago, the Crew 2 took off. Now, each month, millions of thrill seekers, just like you, are enjoying, playing, eager to see what's next. I am Stéphane Bellet, Creative Director of the Crew. Thanks. Hey! Today, at last, it is my pleasure to introduce the future of the Crew, Motorfest, our own new take on the action-driving genre, a celebration for car lovers to share and experience car culture fantasy on the beautiful island of Oahu in Hawaii. No matter how you enjoy cars and driving, on your own or with your crew, Motorfest has something for everyone. Motorfest, your portal to a medley of high-octane experiences. You choose how you like to have fun with your cars. This is what Motorfest playlists are all about. Playlists are truly at the heart of Motorfest. Want to immerse yourself in the most exciting worlds of car culture? Yeah. Dive into the legacy of the world's most influential automakers. Light up the night street racing scene, Japanese style. Unleash the cutting-edge power of electric supercars. And this is just a taste. For the first time ever, we leave the US mainland behind. Our festival has landed in one of the most breathtaking and vibrant places on Earth, Oahu. Let's find out why Oahu is the perfect playground for driving fun. Race through the city street of Honolulu. Barrel up black ash covered slopes. Adventure deep into lush rainforests. Or cruise the dunes at sunset with your friends. Opportunities for fun and challenges are endless. A unique playground like this calls for a profusion of vehicles. Choose and customize your ride with one of the most diverse lineups ever. From past, present, and future. Recognize the latest from Lamborghini? I think so, yeah, I know. You are as thrilled as I am to get behind the wheel of this beauty. Hey, some of you have spent a lot of energy building the perfect vehicle collection in the Crew 2. In a few weeks, you will be able to import your vehicle collection into the Crew Motorfest for free. Thanks. So stay tuned for more news about the collection import and our complete festival program later this month during our summer showcase. Since the beginning of the year, thousands of players have tested the game and given us priceless feedback through the Insider program. Join the party, register now for a closed beta, and share with the world your experience in July. From the entire team at Ubisoft Ivory Tower, mahalo, thank you. Welcome to Motorfest. Enjoy the ride.
Hi everyone. I hope you enjoyed that first look at this exciting new way to play Assassin's Creed. Coming to MetaQuest this holiday, Assassin's Creed Nexus will push the boundaries of VR and let you become the assassin. You will feel what it means to parkour, fight, and be stealthy in new memories from 3 legendary assassins, Ezio, Cassandra, and Connor. I cannot wait to see our players feel the thrill of virtual reality in the Assassin's Creed universe. But there is more. Nexus is not the only game that will offer new ways to play Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Codename Jade is our first open-world RPG game on mobile. It will take you to ancient China in a time of intrigue and conspiracy. In this brand new adventure, you'll experience the iconic Assassin's Creed gameplay for free, anywhere, anytime. I am glad to announce that you can register now for the upcoming beta. Here's a glimpse of what you can expect.
Legacy. It's honoring those that came before us, learning from their triumphs and mistakes, to illuminate and hold their stories to the light for all to see. That inheritance of knowledge helps to guide and shape our future. Now it's your turn to build on those foundations and rise to even greater heights. To step out of the shadows and into a vast world, to make your own legacy.
We've all been waiting for this moment. Assassin's Creed Mirage is a very special game, designed as an homage to the first titles of the series that many of us fell in love with. Coming October 12th, Assassin's Creed Mirage takes the franchise back to its roots. Sarah, our narrative director for the game, will come on stage to tell you more about Basim and his journey. But before that, let's watch our story trailer.
What are you doing?
Don't think.
Time to put my medal on.
Fulath, tell Basim the story of the feather.
Our tradition of the feather comes from Egypt. The feathers of the heron were dipped in the blood of the targets. The feathers forge our paths, remind us of who we are, who we can be.
The Order has held dominion over men and their empires for centuries. Strike quickly and end this.
Swallow your questions, serve without complaint. Who is she to tell you when to strike?
Everything you do serves the hidden ones. That is a strange kind of freedom.
You are not the first to walk the shadows broken. Pour your pain into the Brotherhood.
We are messengers of justice, and not the final judges.
He knows not what he is? Have you not wondered at your nature?
What does it mean to be free? What must be sacrificed in the quest for freedom and justice the hidden ones fiercely pursue? How can you find your path and fulfill your destiny when you don't know who you really are? As he grows from street thief to master assassin, Basim thinks he has found a sense of purpose as a hidden one, working in the dark to serve the light. But his nightmarish visions keep haunting him, leading to more questions with no answer. In Baghdad, seeking the truth comes with a price. The capital of the Abbasid Empire, one of the richest, most diverse, and most advanced cities in the world, is at a turning point of its history. Unrest is growing, seeding a revolution against corruption and arbitrary justice, an uprising that will turn the tides of history and change the lives of everyone. Childhood friends, fellow hidden ones, as well as newly formed allies and enemies will shape Basim's adventure. But his horrific visions are the face of a struggle that he can only handle alone. There is a lot to look forward to in Assassin's Creed Mirage, and the best way to make you understand our unique Back to the Roots experience is to show you the game. In the following gameplay walkthrough, we meet Basim right after the assassination of his first main target, as he reports back to Roshan in Harbiya's assassin bureau. Enjoy.
There you are.
Don't let him escape!
Time to vanish.
Get back here, dog! You hear that, bloodbag? Ha! Stand and fight, you worm! You're dead! Getting away!
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. I am glad you are safe.
Alhamdulillah. A first of many achievements to come, Basim.
We should only hope. There's still much work to do. While our focus was on Al Ghul, Fulav quietly scouted the city for where we could erect more bureaus.
I have found dwellings in 3 districts that are most unassuming. Abid and Rebecca have arrived from Alamut and set off to Al Abbasiyah and Karh. I will make my way to Sharqiyah shortly.
And I will join Rebecca in Karh, where corruption is as common as the arid air. See Abu Ja'far about some things he's been working on, then come find us.
Have a look, Basim. I may have something that is of interest to you.
Resourceful as always. My thanks, Abu Ja'far. This is the place. What do you see, Enkidu? Let us reconsider the approach. Act as usual.
That guard who likes me said she and Ali's followers are trying to overthrow the prince.
What madness! They will surely fail.
Shit! What? She gets the bastards! What? Hey! Die now! Hey!
The sky is safe, my friend. Survey the area, Enkidu. There is my target.
I heard his favorite was a spy, and that could be why we had her locked up.
You learn your play!
Tell me what I wish to know, and no more need die this day.
Thank you so much.
I'll silence you!
Come on!
There he is! Stop him! No!
Where is the sword? He must face the law!
Hello, everyone. So first, I want to start by saying thank you to all gamers all around the world. It's thanks to you that we are here today. You are at the heart of everything we do. And to all Ubisoft teams around the world as well, I would like to say a big thank you. Your talent and passion are at the foundation of this fantastic lineup. So I hope you are all excited to explore the amazing playground you have seen today. At Ubisoft, we are creators of worlds. We are also proud to partner with some of the biggest names in entertainment to create original stories in beloved universes. Now, I am very happy to welcome Julian from Ubisoft Massive to give you a first look at Star Wars Outlook and gameplay. So thank you. Julian?
Calm down. Do you want to see gameplay or not? All right. Let's get over the speech and let's get to the gameplay. Star Wars Outlaws takes place in a time of great civil unrest across the galaxy. For some, this is a time of turmoil. For Outlaws, this is a time of opportunity. As a cunning thief, Kay Vess and her companion Nyx fight for survival every single day, relying on their skills and resourcefulness to get by. As they struggle to make ends meet, Kay and Nyx dream of the day that they will finally be free. But while seeking this freedom, Kay unexpectedly becomes one of the galaxy's most wanted. So to free herself from the bounty that follows her, Kay will need to pull off one of the greatest heists the Outer Rim has ever seen. As they navigate the underworld, caught between criminal syndicates and vicious, ruthless villains, Kay and Nyx will manage their reputation by taking on risky contracts and navigating complex relationships, all whilst avoiding oppressive imperial rule. Kay and Nyx's journey will take them across the galaxy through stunning, varied open-world locations and the wilds of space. One of these locations is Toshara, a moon that features windswept savanna and amberine canyons. Carved into Toshara's striking landscape, the city of Miragana serves as a central hive of scum and villainy. Kay and Nyx will encounter several criminal syndicates that learn that everything is measured in the value of influence, reputation, or cold, hard credits. This presents an abundance of opportunities and dangers for a young, ambitious scoundrel like Kay. On behalf of Massive in Sweden, along with Ubisoft Annecy, Barcelona, Bucharest, Chengdu, Milan, Montpellier, Paris, Shanghai, Toronto, and our amazing team at Lucasfilm Games, it's our privilege to present to you this first ever look at Star Wars Outlaws gameplay. If you're willing to take the risk, the galaxy is full of opportunity. Thank you.
Good boy.
I want that fighter stripped for parts by tomorrow.
On it.
All right, Nix. Let's go get paid. That worked.
He's the boss because he knows how to handle the Empire.
We cannot trust those officers. They take our credits now, but what stops them from stabbing us in the back?
Nix. Hit that button. Nice one. Hang on tight, little buddy.
I was just leaving. Okay, we'll figure this out.
They'll pay
Shield. Hey, Nick! Catch! This is getting bad. Let's try this out. Think Ferric!
Stop her!
I think that went pretty well, right? Oh, these guys don't quit! Hang on! That was close. ND5, I got the package. Where are you?
Waiting for you in Jauntus Hope. Were you seen?
I said I got it. What else matters?
Should I assume we won't be working for the Pikes anytime soon?
Well, they'll probably forgive me.
Comforting.
There's Jauntus Hope. We made it, Nix. Hey, Andy.
You're late, Kay. Doc is waiting.
What? Are you worried?
No.
Okay.
No, but you Troy.
What?
Be careful. Donka's a broker, not a friend. She can't be trusted.
Who can out here? See you back at the ship.
Round 2 and I still like my odds. Kay Vess. Back already. I told you she's fresh, but she's good.
Who's this?
Just a friend. Join us.
Job was more complicated than you said, Dunka.
You lived. Hey, these aren't toys. They're investments.
Wait. We haven't met. Don't really know many of you.
Stealing illegal contraband, running with syndicates. I could say you're a threat to the Empire. But I won't have to, if you're smart.
Thanks, but I'm smart enough to get myself out of trouble.
You pay the tax just like everyone else.
Whoa, kid, let's just relax.
You won't make it off to Shara alive.
Maybe.
All troopers, we have reports of a fugitive in Jaunter's Hope. Move to apprehend.
That Imperial announcement wouldn't be about you, would it?
Could be.
I told you not to trust her.
Not the first time we've outrun the Empire.
We need to leave.
Yeah, no kidding.
Nothing on the sensors yet.
Anybody on the sensors now?
TIE fighters on us.
Got one!
I feel inclined to remind you that we should shake the Empire quickly.
Thanks, I'm working on it. ND, get us out of here.
Installing hyperdrive.
Let's jump. We made it. Hey. Got your new toy.
So, where do we go next?
Anywhere we want.
Hello again, everybody. That was Ubisoft Forward, and this is IGN Summer of Gaming, and we're going to discuss everything we just saw with looks at Assassin's Creed, Avatar, Prince of Persia, all that good stuff. But first, if you have a million questions about Star Wars Outlaws, you're not alone, and luckily, Brian got a chance to ask the creative director a bunch of his. Check it out.
Star Wars Outlaws is the bold new Ubisoft game exploring that gritty corner of the iconic galaxy far, far away. Here to tell me all about it is Julian Garritti, creative director on Star Wars Outlaws. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for bringing a new Star Wars game for us to take a look at today. I am so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. We've been sitting on this one for a bit, so it feels like such a relief.
It's out there.
To start talking about it, not to refer to it by its code name. We can talk about Star Wars Outlaws.
We can say the full legal title of the game. It's awesome. Give me sort of like a pie-in-the-sky overview on what this game is.
So the way we like to think of this game is that it's the first ever Star Wars open world experience. It's the scoundrel adventure set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi that's me as a 7-year-old kid would have loved to have played. So this is, starting with the scoundrel archetype, fancy, going out to, okay, but what could be cool to add to that open world, being able to have a speeder, a ship, being able to explore not only different planets, but space and jump from hyperspace to another system, another planet, all of that stuff within one experience.
What was something you were kind of looking to create when you thought about how big should this world be? How interconnected should it be in terms of like traveling from place to place?
So, when we were working on the high level concepts, the first concept was a true scoundrel adventure. And that means, thinking about how we adapt combat to a scoundrel archetype. But the second was all about the beauty and the joy of exploration and having these beautiful, exotic, but familiar landscapes and being able to go out and explore those on your speeder. And then, because we wanted to make it a little bit bigger, multi-planet space, open space gameplay as well.
Right.
So being able to jump into your ship, go into orbit, discover what's there, get tangled into a few dogfights, a little bit of exploration, and then hyper jump into a completely different system.
Right. So you're effectively trying to find this balance between the intimacy of scrappy little gunfights and fisticuffs, and then big battles in space.
Absolutely. And the let's say connective tissue in between all of that are the characters.
Right.
Because when you close your eyes and you think of Star Wars, it's not just the ships, it's not just the blasters, the materials that you see, but it's also the incredible characters, both alien and human, that you meet. And that's really the propelling red thread of the adventure that we're going to have. You're tangling with the underworld, you're tangling with the most ruthless criminal syndicates out there, but the characters are what makes you want to go on, to go forwards. And it's really something we took a lot of pride in. So there's a lot of player choices in cinematics and in gameplay that will, craft a story that really feels unique to you.
We have seen morally gray, morally kind of like ethically ambiguous characters in Star Wars media and in games a lot. They're usually Jedi though, right? Like it's usually just like, is it the light side, the dark side, blah, blah, blah. This feels more like that Han Solo scrappy scoundrel. She's bar fighting, punching people in the face, no holds barred, not holding back. Tell me how you landed on this sort of archetype around this character, because I love it.
We started off when thinking about the project and kicking off the process with Lucasfilm Games, we started off thinking about what archetype within the Star Wars archetypes could we really lean into, and could we develop a really interesting and different gameplay experience around. And for us, that was the scoundrel fancy. So the scoundrel fancy, it's a very Star Wars word. It's every time I used it in head office in France, they were like, it's a bit old-timey word. I'm like, it's okay.
It's like pirate terminology, right?
But that's why, you know,
works.
it explains Star Wars Outlaws at the end of the day. So that was the fancy. And then once you have that box and you're thinking, what can we do with an outlaw-style gameplay?
Right.
You start thinking of the narrative elements too. And what we wanted to do is to show somebody who was a rookie, somebody who's just starting out, you know, a petty thief that finds themselves like making one bad decision after another and ending up in an incredible situation where they're tangling with the underworld and the most unsavory characters in the whole galaxy.
Which are my favorite. Like I saw Jabba the Hutt and I geeked out. Like he's on my shirt today. Like I love that character. And it's not just Jabba the Hutt. It's Jabba the Hutt getting, you know, his Amazon delivery driver is bringing him Han Solo in carbonite.
A carbonite surprise. Yeah.
And that seeing a game set between Empire and Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie. I recognize that Empire is the better film, but Jedi's more fun. This is an area that hasn't really been explored in Star Wars games, I think, since Shadows of the Empire, which is, you know, also focused on the sort of like derelict corners of the galaxy. Yep. Why there and now, right? Why that timeline? Because you're playing with a lot of different criminal syndicates and stuff like that. You know, the Empire has been taken down a peg a little bit, but they're building back up. Why was that the era to speak in?
The first one is because the team is incredible fans of this era, right? The second is that this is the perfect era. And when we were, you know, starting off the discussions with Lucasfilm, it was very clear that 1 year period between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, that's where the rebels aren't part of the picture, the Empire is taking more and more control, but the syndicates, they're taking more power. They're exploiting all of these weaknesses.
Right.
So it really is a moment where the underworld is thriving. And there's no better situation for an established or a rookie scoundrel to cut their teeth than this particular moment.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I really want to dig into here, because it's really special and it's very varied, is the gameplay itself. We saw fisticuffs.
Yep.
We saw stealth. We saw gunplay. We saw hopping onto a speeder bike, standing on the speeder bike first, like the coolest kid in your neighborhood, right? Who's just like would hop on his bike and roll down the hill. Then going at space and ship combat.
Yep.
So tell me how about that flow. Talk about how all of that breaks down, the freedom and creativity there.
I think, again, you have to start off with that one idea of how do we really lean into the scoundrel archetype and the scoundrel gameplay and what makes that special. So combat, fisticuffs, absolutely a part of your arsenal. Gadgets, guns, definitely. But this isn't, you know, a hyper-trained military precision agent.
Right.
This is a resourceful underdog who's going to take every possible opportunity to get out of a situation alive, no matter how elegant or inelegant that's going to be. Right. So it's about using Nyx as well to attack, to pick up weapons, to be able to have some more firepower for a while. We see that in this sequence here.
And Nyx is interacting with environmental objects, almost like hacking them, right?
Yeah, pressing levers, buttons, sneaking
being a
through.
nuisance.
Yeah. And then, of course, you're going to have stealth because you're a thief. And sometimes the best course of action is not tangling with the Empire or some syndicates. And then you've got your speeder, and that grows your access in these huge open world environments. So here we saw it in Tashara, jump on your speeder, and that's it. The world is open to you. And you're going to be driven by your goals, but we're trying to make it so that you're always distracted by little things. A ship may fly overhead. You could follow to where it lands. See if there's an adventure that calls you when that happens. And then, you know, space. That's the other frontier that we wanted to break down seamlessly. Jump in your ship, go into the atmosphere, explore the orbit, get into firefights in space, from intimate dogfights, a little bit like this one, to taking down much, much larger vessels.
Wow. Now, in terms of your ship, your speeder, stuff like that, even down to your blaster, your pistol, right? Are these things that you'll be able to upgrade or amend in any kind of meaningful ways?
Yeah. They're all designed with very light RPG elements to them.
Oh, awesome.
So, it's part of the toolkit of progression in general, is to give you those goals. And being able to upgrade your speeder is going to allow you to explore wider areas. Being able to upgrade your blaster will allow you to have different functions on it. Here we saw that she had to swap a module to take down the shield of a pike before taking him out with a good punch with a gun butt in the face. So there's a lot of things that we're allowing you to personalize and to customize to your will as well there.
What was something you knew you absolutely had to get right about combat in general? Like what was, because I know your studio's done gunplay before and you nailed it, but now you're flying through space and you're taking down TIE fighters and stuff. That's a whole new world, right?
I think you really have to divide this into two games in terms of like the combat. In terms of space, our singular objective there was to focus on the accessibility of being able to fly and shoot at the same time. So it was real, thrilling, very fast, very, very accessible so that anyone could pick up and play and have a good time. So it's not a simulation at all.
Right.
And for pure gunplay, it's how do we make sure that you feel like a resourceful underdog, that you feel that you're taking a trick shot, you're taking a chance when you pick up your blaster. That's very different from what we've done in the past. And, it will create the identity of this game when it comes out as well. There aren't other games where you play a scoundrel, resourceful underdog at the end of the day.
No, especially not when it flies into space and goes through hyperspeed and all that fun stuff. The scale of this game, obviously, like so much to reveal, so much to work on. You've got to go back to your studio at the end of this week and finish making it. Obviously, there's so much to do there. Can you give us sort of at least paint a bit of a picture about how big this game is?
We've featured a lot of different locations. Every location, what we're trying to do is to have a really peculiar and distinct player profile to it. So playing in Tashara will feel very different from playing in Kijimi, for example. So it's about the varied gameplay experiences that we can weave together there.
From planet to planet.
Exactly. That's what we're focusing on.
Which has always been one of my favorite things about Star Wars, right? Like Hoth and Tatooine feel completely different.
Completely.
Yeah.
And give you really different opportunities.
Yeah.
So that's really our big focus at the moment.
It seems like there is, we talked a bit about the morality. There's a sequence in which you can kind of be like, I'm not paying for this. I'm just going to walk out, which immediately puts you on the most wanted list in the region. Is that playing into a sort of a larger morality system? Yes. Okay.
So it's a great question, because for us, when we were thinking, again, scoundrel fantasy.
Right.
What's the scoundrel fantasy? What can our hero, Kay Vess, and her companion, Nyx, do?
Yeah.
They can fight, they can bar fight, they can gunsling, but they can sneak. They're thieves, so they know their way around fights instead of through them. And of course, they can talk.
Right.
They're smooth talkers, and because she's a rookie, she doesn't maybe have the confidence that some of the other more legendary characters have, but she's finding her way out, and she fakes it until she makes it. And we're giving players the option of making dialogue choices because we want them to role play that scoundrel too. And that feeds into something we're calling the reputation system for the time being, but it's built around this concept that as a scoundrel, you live and die by your reputation with the different criminal organizations, the syndicates, the villains that you're going to meet. So you can craft your relationship with each one of those separate syndicates, and of course that will unlock, if you're in good terms, it'll unlock jobs for you, contracts, better prices, access to faction territories, that type of thing. If you're in a bad way with them, they're going to send people after you.
Oh man!
So
I love it.
Stealing from one to pay the other.
Yeah.
The full-on scoundrel fence.
Oh my God, I love it so much. Good luck in the game. I cannot wait to play the full thing.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming. That was Star Wars Outlaws. Thank you so much. I cannot wait for this game. For all things Star Wars, Rancors, Gamorrean Guards, Hutts, and more, stick with IGN.
Presented by the United States Air Force. The mission of the United States Air Force is to fly, fight, and win. Air power anytime, anywhere.
So secretive, even we don't know what movies are on it or where they rank.
What do you mean you don't know?
Each episode will reveal one of the movies.
Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed. That was good. I liked it.
Talk about why it belongs and finally find out where it ranks.
Are you not entertained?
Are any of the movies we've shown here even on the list? I have no idea, and it drives me crazy. Join us as we find out on the Cinefix Top 100, Mondays, starting July 3rd.
Why so serious? Welcome to Super Debatable. When you got big takes on superheroes as hot as ours, well, you need a place to vent them.
And that's exactly what we'll be doing week after week on Super Debatable, arguing over the most divisive topics facing fans.
The MCU, that multiversal mess peaked years ago. It's all downhill from here.
James Gunn and Peter Safran should absolutely nuke the Snyderverse. We could argue about this all day.
And we will. Join us on Super Debatable Fridays on IGN.
You saw the gameplay drop. Some of you said, oh, they showed too much. I assure you, you have seen nothing yet. We've just scratched the surface. It is just the thwip of the Spider-Berg. If I may coin that.
You may. I love talking to Yuri Lowenthal, the voice of Peter Parker Spider-Man in the Spider-Man games. For more content like that, follow IGN on all social platforms. We got video game previews, celebrity moments, and so much more. So follow us.
Want the ultimate IGN experience? Check out IGN Plus. Members get exclusive deals and giveaways. Ad-free browsing, unlimited tracking on IGN Maps, discounts at the IGN store and with IGN partners. And best of all, free games. Get 30 days of IGN Plus for just $1. Head to plus.ign.com. Black Desert Online is an MMORPG played by 20 million adventurers worldwide on PC. And now, the latest free expansion, Land of the Morning Light, invites you to explore a brand new region with all new boss fights, quests inspired by Korean folklore, architecture inspired by the Joseon Dynasty period, and tons more. Let's take a look.
Welcome back. You're watching IGN Summer of Gaming. We put out the call on Twitter to ask what people thought of stuff using the hashtag IGN Summer of Gaming. We're trying to get that pulled up, but right now, let's talk about what we thought of Star Wars.
I don't think I want to talk about Star Wars.
You don't talk about Star Wars?
No, I'm so incredibly excited for this game. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is everything I've always wanted from a Star Wars game. You've got flying, you've got swoop bikes, you've got combat, there's stealth. Seeing the full gameplay deep dive today, talking to the creative director, has just gotten me... I basically just have even more and more questions, right? I think one of the biggest questions I have right now is, like, how much does this sort of morality system play into the bigger scope of the game, right? We know that Kay has a branching narrative path right there where she can be like, I can pay off the Empire and not deal with any conflict, or I can just be like, hey, screw you, gun to your head, I'm walking out, and then immediately your face shows up on all the TVs. So is that going to be a thing that's like, does that go, how grand does that go in the galaxy, right? Like, will they chase you from planet to planet? Will there be sort of like a good ending, a bad ending? Like, how much of that does it really keep track of, you know?
Right. I mean, we know there's 3 factions. I'm curious if the Empire's one of them, or if that's like the sort of overarching, you know, like we've seen GTAs where there's gangs that you got to watch out for, but then there's also the police, you know? And I feel like it's going to be kind of like that. But yeah, to back things up, we jumped on Twitter. Sagir Khan says, this looks like every Star Wars fan's dream game, even the snobby entitled ones that can never be pleased. I'm intrigued. It was actually really funny watching this in the chat because there was one guy who was like, no fly ship, no buy, just spamming that. And then like, yeah, you can fly the ship. You just go off planet. You just
Amazing.
CIV says, I legit teared up when they entered orbit and into space. This is everything I've ever wanted from a Star Wars game. I don't want to like overhype it, but I think like I think this is sort of, you know, it's the kind of thing where like I think if you ask like 10-year-old me to describe like the most just pie in the sky ambitious Star Wars game ever, I don't think I would dream this big. You know?
I mean, it's a pretty slam dunk example of taking some of the best stuff that works in games, right? Like, there's definitely some GTA, Red Dead. You've got some third-person action, Uncharted stuff. A little bit of like Watch Dogs hacking via your, you know, pet puppy that can interact with terminals and stuff like that. Yeah, Nyx is awesome.
Love Nyx.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I want to know how big these planets are, how big these playgrounds are. There's just a lot here I can't wait to dig into.
Yeah, the vibe I got was kind of like an Uncharted, Red Dead Redemption sort of thing, like especially when you went into the open world aspect of it. But I was like, oh man, this looks really good. Like that formula really works for a Star Wars game, especially one that's seems to be really heavy on narrative, which I'm very excited for because I love this story that we're getting bits of. And we were talking about her character design and the fact that she looks very much like she's very comfortable with being on the run constantly. Like she's obviously always getting into trouble. And I love that. And I'm so excited to explore more about her attitude, who she is, her relationship with her pet, Nyx, who is very cute. And yeah, I'm so excited.
I mean, I love everything about this. I feel like even if I wasn't a Star Wars fan, which I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan there is, I'm a huge GTA fan and Red Dead Redemption fan, so I mean, like I would play this game based on that alone.
Well, it's interesting because it's like we got Shadows of the Empire ages ago, and that was a game designed almost entirely around the idea of Han Solo is in Carbonite right now. How do we come up with some sort of like scrappy, outcast, scoundrel character to take his place?
Yeah, it was Dash Rendar.
Dash Rendar,
as we have Han Solo at home.
And
like I hope they find some way of incorporating him. We've seen them like kind of cherry picking. Like Jedi Survivor had armor that was basically Dash Rendar's. It was called, like the Outrider. Like the Outrider is his ship, which has shown up in like Rebels, I think. I want that dude to be a compulsive liar who hangs out in a bar, and he's like, yeah, you know, I helped rescue Han Solo and Carbonite. I defeated Prince Shizor, the head of the Black Sun, and people are like, that's not the head of the Black Sun. You just made that up.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And it's like once again, Han Solo's on ice during this time period, and we're getting this like scrappy scoundrel character who's sort of duplicitous and working with everybody, making money.
I saw a lot of people, complaining that we have a female character and that you can't switch between them. 6 weeks ago, we got Cal Kestis' second game in Jedi Survivor, and we talked to the creative director about that, and I think I asked like why there isn't like different good bad endings, and I feel like the answer to that is the same reason you can't sort of swap between male or female versions of Kay, and that's because it's canon. Like, it's part of the Star Wars story. You can't change the ending if you want it to tie into the larger picture.
You know, another thing that really bothers me is that there have been so many other games where you've been locked to a character that is a specific gender, a way that they look and everything, and it's like, it's not a new concept.
No,
it's also for a lot of people, empathy is, so,
like navigating in the new modern Star Wars Disney playground means like you kind of got to stick to the script a little bit, right? Like there's a lot of post-it notes on a wall. This is not technically how they design the narrative there, but you have to make sure that your story fits perfectly between or like predisposed and pre-created areas. This is why we've never really seen anything canon between Empire and Jedi. That was like
well, I mean, the comics are exploring that right now.
Right.
I have a hunch. We see a shot of the third faction. I forget what they're called, but there's this alien. It looks like Sarko Plank, who's like a deep-cut background character from The Force Awakens, but they just started putting him in the comics, which are currently exploring this exact time period, and I'm wondering if that's that same guy, or if it's like his cousin or something. But it's kind of neat to see them. This is like my favorite thing about Star Wars is when they like use leftovers and like mix them in together. Now, the other big epic open world multi-billion-dollar franchise game based on a popular formerly Fox, currently Disney property is, of course, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, which, yep, that is Avatar cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Actually.
Which, I mean, I think it says a lot about, like, that seemed like a perfect game to me, and then it says a lot about Star Wars that I'm like, let me see Star Wars more, you know? But yeah.
So you're not as excited for the Avatar game then?
The Avatar game it feels like such a known quantity. Like, it feels like a safe bet.
Yeah.
Kind of comfort food sort of thing. Like, we've had Far Cry Primal, we've had Far Cry Blood Dragon, we've had Far Cry there's even DLC where you go to like alien planets. This just kind of feels like they just mixed all of that up, but it's got, the James Cameron coat of paint, and it's set in that universe.
Yeah.
I love it, which is weird. I never would have thought 2 years ago I'd be sitting on the stage and being like, I'm incredibly excited for the new Avatar game. But here we are. That said, I agree. Star Wars came along, and I was like, yeah, that's the one, though.
Well,
this is really cool.
Yeah, I'm just glad that old man, James Cameron, introduced himself, because I didn't know who he was at first. So,
I know.
I'm glad he kind of came out and told us what he does for a living.
I think I want him to more off. He's like, I'm the creator of Avatar. I also am the first guy to drive a manned submersible to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. No big deal. And just like, oh, sure, man, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I said this before, but like, this is a much less explored. This is a frontier pop culture wise too.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't gotten literally hundreds of novels and comics set in this world. That said, it's also one planet that's relatively undeveloped. Like, that's kind of the point, is that it is a frontier. It has a culture there, the Na'vi and all that. But like, Star Wars is a whole galaxy. Like, you're not going to go off planet in this. You're going to run around Pandora. You're going to fly a pterodactyl.
So Max, I know you know a lot more about the game. So how does this tie into like the movies though?
So it takes place about the same timeline as the second one.
Okay.
Like, you play as a Na'vi who was basically abducted by the human bad guys, trained in human ways, which is why you have shotguns and stuff, and then gets cryogenically frozen when the humans have to go off planet, and then conveniently you come back out basically when they return. But at that point, you are trying to sort of basically become part of the Na'vi, and like you're a full-blooded Na'vi, and you basically show up and you're like, "Hi, I'm one of the Na'vi too," and they're like, "Dude, you are wearing khakis and a T-shirt.
Yeah,
you got to learn how to fly a pterodactyl, my friend." And then it's that. So it's this weird kind of like inverse Jake Sully thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm not even like cautiously optimistic. Like, if this drops the ball, like someone's getting a talking to. This is. But yeah. We've actually got a breakdown of that Avatar trailer coming up, so stick around for that. Until then, our own Rev Valentine got a chance to chat with the Ubisoft narrative director about Assassin's Creed Mirage, so let's check that out.
Howdy, my name is Rebecca Valentine, and I am here with Sarah Beaulieu, narrative director at Ubisoft for Assassin's Creed Mirage. Sarah, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so excited about Assassin's Creed Mirage. I know you're hard at work on the final touches on Mirage. It's coming up later this year. It's the upcoming new entry in the Assassin's Creed franchise. It's promising a return to the series' roots with a focus on stealth and this beautiful, intimate city setting in Baghdad. So I'm thinking about how this is a return to the series' roots. We're talking Assassin's Creed 1, which I'm a huge fan of. And I think longtime fans know this is quite different from what we've seen recently in games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So what would you say are the biggest differences if someone was coming out of Assassin's Creed Valhalla and then playing Assassin's Creed Mirage?
So first thing you said it's stealth. So we focused on stealth really much. We focused also on parkour, really, because Baghdad is such a dense city with very narrow streets, parkour and assassination, which is also a good, very important pillars of ours. So that's going to be not the main difference, because it's still, the Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Assassin's Creed Valhalla actually showed parkour and stealth and of course assassination, but it is very key and very core to our game. So yes, the three pillars.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that struck me a lot was learning that combat was not necessarily being deprioritized, but it's kind of a second option, effectively. Like when stealth does not work out, when stealth and parkour goes wrong, then you are caught up in fighting. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. That's not Basim's thing, combat, close-up combat. His thing is stealth, really. So what we wanted to do is really encourage the player to find ways to actually, get to a target, hunt the target, strike the target. So you have different opportunities. You have, you can bribe the guards to enter. You can actually, cause distraction. Some way. That's different ways to actually enter what we call a black box mission. So that's these places, these spaces where you can hunt a specific target in different ways. So yes, stealth first and combat last resort. Yeah.
Is it fair to compare it to, I remember in Assassin's Creed 1, you were able to sort of, you would go to the area that you knew your target was in, and then you would spend some time gathering intel. So you try to listen in on conversations or figure out, a strategic way to approach them. And then that would sort of inform the different pathways you could take. Is there a similar thing happening with Mirage?
Exactly. That's what we call the black box missions, actually. The black box missions is exactly what you described. So, we want to encourage the stealth. You have different opportunities, and if you want to replay the missions, you can do it again. It's also, as a player too, I know that I want to replay some of the things, some of the missions, and I played Assassin's Creed Mirage very, very often, and I tested, the different opportunities, and it feels fresh every time, and it feels new, and it's what we want to do. So in terms of narrative, what we did is actually mixing what we see from the earlier games, so the linear story, the more linear story. So we have that in Mirage. At the beginning, it's very linear, and then we open to the to the world, and you have different targets you can hunt in the city, and you can play it in any order. You can reach a first target, then come back to the second target, etc. So that's the open world structure. But still, you can feel the evolution of Basim as an assassin inside the open world structure, and then go back to something more linear. So we kept this very linear progression and evolution of the character in mind, even in the open world structure. So yes, different opportunities, different paths, etc. But still, it's a character-driven story.
That's wonderful. So, tell me a little bit about that character, Basim. He's a street thief, I understand, who becomes an assassin.
Basim is a character that I loved in Valhalla for many reasons, but the Basim you are going to meet in Mirage is not the Basim from Valhalla at all. It's a fresh, new character. It's really not the same character as you saw before.
So wait, it's absolutely not the same guy, or it's
a very different character. He's not, in terms of personality, he's still a young person at that moment. He's still a young thief, and his evolution is really progressive. So what I like in Basim personally is the fact that he's a very complex character, and he has issues, I would say, and I related, and I think that's the point in Mirage is how much the fans and the players are going to relate to his struggles, because it's struggles that everybody has, and we focused on that really in this evolution as a person, Basim as a person. So yeah, I hope you love him as much as I do.
So Assassin's Creed 1 came out way back in 2007, and I know since then, there's been some criticisms of how certain aspects of representation were handled in that game.
Yeah.
So what work have you done here to reflect on that feedback and make sure that Mirage's details and story and representation are as authentic and respectful as possible?
So actually, that's something I'm really proud of, and I'm proud of the team on that matter, because so we have experts inside Ubisoft who actually helped us on a very, very daily level, and then we had experts on the outside. So some people came just to give their advices and expertise on very specific topics. So that's the first point. And the other point was inside the team again, we wanted actors who came from Middle East or whatever the characters they were playing were from. So, for example, Basim, his origins are never told in Valhalla. We know that he was born in Samara, and back in the days, especially in Baghdad, people would come from everywhere. So you have people coming from Middle East, but also from other countries, and we have this diverse city that we wanted to portray. So again, we had experts from every field, and I'm really proud of that aspect, really, because I think we did a great job on portraying this diverse city with all the people in it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see it. I mean, I know it's not quite the city that we saw. It's a different city than what we saw in Assassin's Creed 1, but I know there's going to be some similarities in like architecture and culture that, you know, cross over there, and I'm very excited to sort of revisit some of that feeling.
Yeah, it is quite different though, because it's different. It's 200 years before, and it's also a very again, it's a very diverse city, so you can meet people from all origins there. Baghdad was the center of the world at that point in history, so we really feel that in terms of of the people you meet again, and the architecture too.
How do you feel about sort of going back and revisiting this very specific style of Assassin's Creed that you've kind of moved away from over the years? Is it scary? Is it risky? Is it challenging? Is it exciting? Where are you at on that?
Yeah, we are very aware of the heritage and what we need to do, what we want to do also as players, you know, because the dev team is also a team of players. So that's both challenging and exciting. Personally, it warms my heart to see how people react to the walkthrough, to what we did in the last couple of months. So I hope that people will love the game and will love Basim and will love the gameplay. But again, it's exciting.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much for coming and talking about Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm really stoked to get my hands on it later this year.
Thank you for having me again. Thank you.
Assassin's Creed Mirage is coming to PC, Xbox, and PlayStation on October 12th. We got a little bit of time to wait, so for now, stick around. We've got more Summer of Gaming coming up.
IGN's Summer of Gaming is presented by Lenovo Legion with 13th gen Intel Core processors. Beyond performance.
So you like IGN, huh? The news, the videos, the guides, and wikis, it's all in your wheelhouse. But do you ever wish there was more? Introducing IGN Plus, a brand new program that's loaded with tons of cool perks and benefits. Sign up for IGN Plus today and you'll unlock free games and in-game content every month, a free subscription to Map Genie Plus, huge discounts for stuff like Dream Gear, Power A, Humble Bundle, the IGN Store, and tons more. IGN Plus is just $29.99 a year for a limited time. You deserve a little extra.
Behind every game, movie, and TV show you love is a wild, crazy, and sometimes unbelievable story.
No one is just black and white.
From revealing the secrets behind your favorite franchises to solving a legendary video game mystery, I'm coming for you. IGN Inside Stories gives you a peek behind the curtain.
If people come to the game now and see what's going on there, I think they'll be surprised.
Join us as we dive into hyper-dedicated fan bases, worldwide phenomenons, and the most incredible untold tales in games and entertainment.
I said, wait a minute, that doesn't sound so good.
It was definitely not what I expected in the best way.
Inside Stories, available now only on IGN.
And I was like, holy shit, we're gonna do this.
Have you been stuck on the same quest for just way too long?
I just want answers!
IGN strategy guides and interactive maps are here to help. IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and of course, free. You can even track your progress with handy checklists if you go for 100% just like we do.
We're gonna be going over some sensitive material.
IGN has the very best, most complete, and accurate guides for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, The Witcher 3, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Elden Ring, and so much more.
I will require some time to process this information.
Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN.
Open your own sushi restaurant? Then I've got the game for you. Dave the Diver is a casual single-player adventure RPG. Fish and explore the deep sea by day, and by night, manage your own sushi joint. Join Dave and his quirky cast of buddies to uncover the secrets of the mysterious blue hole. Dave the Diver will be coming to full release on June 28th on Steam. Don't miss out on this amazing adventure. Let's take a look.
Meet Dave, an interesting little human with a precarious love for the sea. He spends his days diving the chilling depths of a mysterious blue hole. And when he isn't merely surviving or rummaging resources, he's often found snapping photographs, racing seahorses, farming, and really anything that grabs his attention. It's this gluttonous appetite for adventure that gets him into all kinds of unique situations. Luckily, he's at the top of his game and at the top of the food chain. I suppose even the most voracious hunters have their off days. The blue hole is home to unimaginable secrets. And with Dave's unquenchable thirst for discovery, there's no telling what he may encounter. Dave the Diver.
Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora has been on our radar for some time, but it wasn't until this year's Ubisoft Forward that we got a clear idea of what kind of a game it is. Despite being developed by Massive Entertainment, the studio behind the Division games, Frontiers of Pandora clearly has a lot of Far Cry DNA. Here are 11 things that we noticed or have questions about in the most recent trailers. First off, let's set the stage. You play as a Na'vi who is abducted by the RDA and raised in human customs, but also trained to fight with human technology. That explains the gun-wielding Na'vi. This messed up project was the brainchild of this guy, John Mercer, who looks to be the big bad. The goal here was to make these Na'vi child soldiers fight their own kind, but before that could happen, the events of the first film took place, and the RDA was forced to evacuate. On the way out, Mercer orders you and the other Na'vi children killed, but luckily, somebody put you in cryosleep instead. That raises a question though, who put you in cryosleep, and what happened to the other kids? These are good questions that'll undoubtedly be answered in time, but based on the number of fingers your savior has, they're a genetically engineered avatar, not a native Na'vi. That suggests that not all the human characters in the game are necessarily bad, but will they actually be any help in your liberation of Pandora? We'll have to wait and see. Your character comes out of cryosleep 15 years after the first movie, just in time for the RDA's dramatic return to Pandora. That puts it squarely in the same time frame as The Way of Water. The game's setting is the Western Frontier, which is a part of the planet we haven't seen before, so it seems unlikely any familiar faces will show up, but you never know. Massive's goal here was to tell a new story set in the universe, not try to connect to the movies. So that answers the when and the where, but what about the who? Well, that's kind of up to you. You'll be creating your own Na'vi hero and customizing their appearance. How much, if at all, your decisions will affect the narrative remains to be seen, but at the very least, the goal here is to allow players to take some ownership of their character. As for the moment-to-moment gameplay, well, it looks a lot like Far Cry. There'll be RDA facilities to liberate in classic Outpost fashion. You'll have your choice of going in loud, putting your human training and gear to good use, or you can take a stealthier approach using lower-tech Na'vi weaponry and maybe disabling some alarms along the way. We get a look at explosive arrows in action, so expect to be crafting some different types of projectiles and possibly customizing your weapons. You've also got Na'vi senses that can be used to tag enemies from a distance. So yeah, basically Far Cry. One way Avatar will deviate from Ubisoft's other open-world shooter series is that your Na'vi biology has you almost twice the size of your human foes, which doesn't really seem like a fair fight, unless of course they're outfitted with amp suits, which a lot of them are. Even then, you'll be able to rip enemies out of those, but something tells us that's not going to be possible right away. We get a brief glimpse of a skill tree, and it seems like you're using your neural queue to commune with Awa and relive memories of the warrior. In other words, you can shove your alien ponytail into a magic plant and unlock some sick takedowns. Never has a skill tree been quite so literal. In a good open world, the main character is the world itself, and Frontiers of Pandora looks like it understood the assignment. The key thing here, to set it apart from every other open world, is the verticality. There are floating mountains and massive trees and giant plants that'll launch you into the air, and getting around will have you relying heavily on your Ikran, or Banshee. How that relationship actually affects gameplay seems like it'll really determine whether or not this experience feels unique. Like Jake Sully, you'll be undergoing the rite of passage of your first flight, which entails taming one of these kick-ass space pterodactyls so it'll be your best friend. It looks like you'll be able to feed and customize it, which is reminiscent of horses in Red Dead Redemption 2 or Breath of the Wild. But Ikran can fly. Are they any good in a fight? NPC animal sidekicks were a big hit in Far Cry 5 and 6, and it seems like your connection with your Ikran will be even stronger than your working relationship with Cheeseburger the bear. Again, Frontiers of Pandora has a lot of familiar Ubisoft DNA. The Ikran flight reminded us a bit of the VR game Eagle Flight, And there's been plenty of bird's eye view stuff in the Assassin's Creed games. But true to the source material, forming a bond with your Ikran will be integral to the experience. Far Cry has had rideable animals and it's had aerial combat, but this looks like the best of both worlds. And, of course you can ride the dire horses, but they can't fly. Expect to see plenty of other wildlife, not all of it so friendly. Then again, the enemy of your enemy is your friend, so we might get eaten by a Thanator or mauled by viper wolves, but they might also help us do some eco-terrorism to the colonizers. Can you ride a Thanator? Well, if you can't wear an amp suit, you better be able to ride a frickin' Thanator, or I want a refund. Anyway, the last Avatar movie showed us the life of nautical Na'vi, but aside from a brief glimpse of swimming, it doesn't seem like Frontiers of Pandora will have too much water. That's fine, as it clearly has sky-high ambitions. The overview trailer calls out 3 biomes, the Kinglor Forest, which should be somewhat familiar to anyone who's seen the movie, the grasslands of the upper plains, and the Clouded Forest, where nothing is as it seems, whatever that means. From what we've seen, Frontiers of Pandora looks like something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue, but for anybody impatient for the next Avatar movie or the next Far Cry game, it definitely looks like it'll hold them over. What did you think of this game's big reveal? Let us know in the comments, and for more info on Frontiers of Pandora, check out our interview with the Associate Creative Director, and for everything Avatar and video games, you're already in the right place, IGN.
And we're back. This is IGN Summer of Gaming right here on IGN, obviously. We're unpacking Ubisoft's big announcements, so let's talk about those. Assassin's Creed Mirage, just one of the games we saw, but yeah. What are we feeling about this?
Well, if you're going to start with me, what
did you think?
It's okay. Well, the thing is, I feel like it's kind of hard for me personally to get excited for more Assassin's Creed. We've been getting them so often that I'm not too excited for this. But you know what? This is good for those that, have been itching for the old school Assassin's Creed. They're going back to basics with this one. So I'm pretty sure they'll be happy for this.
I liked the open world ones. I feel like they were getting a little too bloated. I was reading a stat that it was to do everything in the last game, it was 160 hours or something like that. And who would do that besides me in A Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom? But this is more focused. This is back to the roots. Yeah. I miss this. I think this was one of those things where we had so many of them, I got burnt out on it. It's been a nice break. I'm ready to return to old school Assassin's Creed.
It's been a nice break. What do you mean? You mean from the Assassin's Creed franchise? Because we've got one in 2020.
I know. I mean, the big open world ones was one thing, but this is back to sneaking around in the shadows, jumping around the rooftops, stabbing guys in the necks, jumping in the hay, hiding in the boxes on the roof.
I just feel like they go back to your roots a little too literally, because I don't really feel like it's showcasing next gen.
Wow.
Graphics.
Just haters up here today.
I'm just listen.
No.
Here. So here's the thing. Assassin's Creed releases so often. It feels like a Call of Duty game to me because it releases and it's a lot of the same formula. Mm-hmm. And recent titles have been just using Assassin's Creed as a title holder to kind of get people to be like, oh, Assassin's Creed. I know that franchise. I like that. But they've derived so much from that original point.
Mm-hmm. So to your point, this is actually cross-gen, which is why it doesn't look mind-blowingly awesome. But also, there's a lot of people who own those other consoles, so Ubisoft, sort of for ubiquitous software, meaning it's everywhere. That said, to the Call of Duty point, I totally agree, which is why it's hard to get excited about these because they are, they do come out so frequently. And like Call of Duty, where they were like, you know what, we're taking a year off, we're not going to do it. And then they were like, never mind, just kidding. Ubisoft was like, we're going to stop churning out an Assassin's Creed game every year. We're going to take a couple years off. And then they just went right back to doing that.
Yeah.
And then, Valhalla got a bunch of updates after the fact, which I think people liked okay. But again, it's such a massive, sprawling game. It's also, Ubisoft is betting pretty hard on Assassin's Creed. They've openly said that.
Yes.
And it's funny to be like, we're going to take a little break. And then also, we have 4 of them in the works.
Yeah. They're beating it over our heads at this point. They're also working on a Netflix series. I do believe it's a live-action series. It's like we've bought in. We know Assassin's Creed is a thing. Can we move on?
It's their most identifiable IP, aside from those lovely rabbits.
Oh, don't get me started on that. Are we really going to talk about rabbits?
No,
or
we're not.
Are you just saying
I'm just
that?
kidding. I do that a lot to annoy people. We also saw Assassin's Creed Nexus, which is a VR game on MetaQuest.
On Quest. See, you're talking my language when you say VR, because we said this in the pre-show. I said I would love to see some sort of Assassin's Creed VR game. And we got that.
Right.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then the logo. of the Meta Quest
Yeah.
popped up, and I was like, what the hell? I almost smashed my PSVR 2, which is underneath this table right here.
Right.
You got to stop kicking it. You're a huge fan of PSVR 2. You're an early adopter. You bought it on day one. That system is what, 3 months old?
Yeah.
It was $550, and I think it had one game at fake E3, Summer of Gaming, everything we're doing here. This is not coming to that platform. That's crazy.
Which is insane to me. Yes, like I feel like this would have been like a no-brainer for PlayStation to somehow get their hands on. I don't know.
Ubisoft their thing used to be just launch titles. That was they put out so many Wii U games at launch. They put out so many Vita games, even for systems that were unproven. Like they put out a bunch of PSVR 1 games. Maybe they're trying to fine-tune it, but I feel like more likely this is an exclusivity deal with Meta, who just probably drove a dump truck full of money up to their house.
Either way, he's going to throw up on that carpet.
Oh, yeah.
Look, fans are going to love this, though.
Absolutely.
You get to play as Exio, which is awesome. Exio's like, he's an OG, Assassin's Creed.
We got Connor.
Yeah.
From 3. I like him, even though I don't like that game that much.
But I want to see gameplay because that was just a lot of fancy
Yeah.
cinematics, and I'm just like, how is this going to work?
I mean, here's the thing: is like MetaQuest gameplay doesn't really look good if you're not playing it.
I don't have. Do you have the stomach for this?
Yes,
Can you do
of
this?
course.
I
No.
can't do this. Like I'm gonna need
Ironclad stomach.
Dramamine or whatever.
Now,
ginger root.
Another game where you jump that's probably not going to make you nauseous is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which yes. Totally. Again, this is another sort of safe bet where I'm like, you show it to me, I'm like, yeah, I'll play that if I play it. It's. I think. Do we know the price point for this yet?
I don't know. I have a feeling that's going to be a contentious one.
Yes.
Because I saw the $60 price point for the new Sonic game was sort of a lightning rod for debate there. Games are moving to $70 almost regularly. Almost every game we saw today had a pre-order thing. Star Wars, Avatar, $70. And so I don't know. It's like Dead Cells was like $20, right? Mm-hmm. And this is kind of evocative of that.
So actually, we got an update. So you can actually pre-order the game, and the standard edition costs $50, and the deluxe edition costs $60.
Oh man.
Okay.
See, I would say that this is like a $30, $40 game, but I'm not a developer, so I can't put value on it. But for me,
I don't see myself paying 50 clams for this.
I mean, it sucks because I don't know. We don't know how big the game is. We don't know what the.
What do you use for currency? What do you pay?
How many buckaroos would you?
Is that how they bought stuff in Persia back in the day?
I don't know.
Your money stinks.
Anyway, it's not fair to look at a game based on
pearls and clams.
This is the worst bank
over
I've
there.
ever been.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
My point is, like this was a game that was $50 in the 90s. Like we look at games with this perspective and we assume that they should be cheaper, and part of that is because of indie games having a lower price point, like Dead Cells, for instance. And I don't know. It's tricky, but like clearly they've spent time making it, but it's weird to see like that's $50, and then you look at what Assassin's Creed looks like, and you're like, that's $70, and it's like there's a lot more in a big open world game, which doesn't mean this is bad. It's just sort of a different experience, and
I think the thing is like a price point like $30 might deter some people. Like, oh, maybe it's not worth it if it's already like at a discount. So I don't know. I think that might be their logic, but I'm deterred by looking at $50.
Yeah. Anyway, the game itself looks cool. If they were like day one on Game Pass, I'd be like, sure, why not? Yeah, but again, that's it's the problem with devaluing games because of how they're priced or whatever.
I'm going to be a little bit contentious here, and I'm going to say something that. All right, so
here we go.
maybe I don't know.
It's boring if we all just sit here and nod our heads.
It's
boring.
feedback.
Go,
do it. This price point, and then also having seen the showcase and the lack of actual gameplay that we've seen for some of the games that they showed, I feel like the showcase really just encapsulated just how out of touch Ubisoft seems to be with the gaming community. And I have been very vocal about this. Like, I reviewed Hyperscape, and they were so out of touch, and it seemed like they just wanted to chase after the latest trends. And with you pointing out that this game used to be $50 back when, original Prince of Persia came out, it kind of made me think of like, oh yeah, there is that disconnect. And I'm not saying that this game isn't great. I'm just saying it might be like, I don't know if people are going to want to play this game for $50.
Yeah, no. So. I mean, the original side-scroller Prince of Persia games were $50 in like 1987 or whenever they came out.
Yeah.
So it's tricky. That said, we got to take a quick break, but there's more IGN Summer of Gaming coming up real soon.
In Immortals of Avium, there's a certain type of magic for everyone. Me? I like to live dangerously. So I'm learning red magic, which embodies entropy and violence. Its spells can create, rend, and harness energy in extreme ways, manipulating them to unleash destructive beams or disrupting it to disorient enemies. And I think I'm getting pretty good at it.
Dude, that's like a $20,000 camera right there.
I'm so sorry. I'll get some more practice. In the meantime, let's get back to the show. Summon your power, stop the Everwar, save the realms. Immortals of Avium coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC.
IGN's Summer of Gaming is presented by Immortals of Avium, available July 20th on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S.
Behind every game, movie, and TV show you love is a wild, crazy, and sometimes unbelievable story.
No one is just black and white.
From revealing the secrets behind your favourite franchises to solving a legendary video game mystery, I'm coming for you. IGN Inside Stories gives you a peek behind the curtain.
If people come to the game now and see what's going on there, I think they'll be surprised.
Join us as we dive into hyper-dedicated fan bases, worldwide phenomenons, and the most incredible untold tales in games and entertainment.
I said, wait a minute, that doesn't sound so good.
It was definitely not what I expected in the best way.
Inside Stories, available now only on IGN.
And I was like, holy shit, we're gonna do this.
Why are people so mean to Koroks in Tears of the Kingdom? We may never know, but what I do know is you should follow IGN on all of our social media platforms. We got video game previews, celebrity moments, and so much more. Follow us. Or don't.
All right, welcome back. Let's get kind of big picture here for a second and talk about just this. I guess let's do our picks of the show first.
Sure.
I think Brian, this is a very easy answer. What's your favorite game they showed off?
Just Dance. I mean, it's an Olympic sport now. I love dancing. I love Star Wars. It's Star Wars Outlaws, of course. How could it be anything else? Like, that game just looks so good. It is everything I've always wanted from a Star Wars game. 2024 is